This is exactly how I made $65,000 in the last 30 days selling a $27 digital product. But here's the plot twist. Most of that money didn't actually come from the $27 product itself. And no, this isn't a clickbait. I'm going to show you my actual dashboard, my sales number, and the exact system I use. So everything is going to be transparent here. So while everyone's out there chasing high-ticket clients, spending hours on sales calls, and literally begging people to buy $2,000 to $5,000 high-ticket coaching programs, I've been doing the complete opposite because that's what's actually working in 2025 going into 2026. So let me pull back the curtain and show you what advanced digital product sellers are doing right now to stay ahead of the game. So while working way less hours than everybody else, right? So trust me when I say that right now in 2025, going into 2026, it's all about low ticket products and smartly using them as a trust bridge to bigger sales. So think of it like this. When you go to a 5-star hotel, they give you a welcome drink. You check in, they hand you like a refreshing drink, you experience their service level, and then later they mention the Deluxe spa treatments. And then suddenly you're like interested because you've already experienced their high-end services. And you're just simply ready for more. Because here's the reality we're living in right now. We're in a trust recession. So nobody's buying $2,000 courses just because you said it's good, right? They don't care about your promises anymore. They need proof you can actually deliver first. So in the next 20 minutes, I'm going to show you the exact system that turns a $27 skeptic into a $5,000 believer. And I'm going to show you why this strategy is a secret weapon of every successful digital product empire you see online right now. And all of this happens without any sales team, without complicated funnels, and without begging for attention on social media every single day. Just simple psychology, proven systems, and a strategy that literally works while you sleep. And if you want more gems like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel for no fluff strategies that actually work now, not recycled garbage from 2024. So let's dive in. All right, so let me start by explaining what's actually happening in the market right now. Because if you don't understand this, nothing else I'm about to share with you will actually make sense. So here's what nobody's talking about. High tickets are harder to sell than ever before. And I don't mean it's getting a little harder. I mean, it's actually failing for a lot of people. Not because their offers are bad, not because people don't have money to spend, but because people just don't trust like they used to. And here's why this is happening, because we're in a trust recession. So let me explain what this actually means. Your prospects, the people who you're trying to sell to, well, they've been burned. Too many inexperienced gurus promising the world and delivering nothing. Too many overpromised products that underdeliver. And that is why customers become skeptical of every single offer that they see moving forward, including yours. Even if you're the real deal, even if you actually deliver amazing results and support, even if you've never let a customer down, they've been burned before. So they're extremely hesitant to trust you again. Plus, let's be real about the psychology of pricing here, because this is really important. When you ask someone to spend $27 on a digital product, here's what's going on through their mind. That's less than eating out. That's basically nothing, right? It barely registers as a financial decision. And there's almost no risk involved. But when you ask someone to spend $2,000 or more, well, suddenly it becomes a completely different conversation, right? In their head, they're thinking, well, okay, that's a major life decision. That's a significant chunk of my saving. What if it doesn't work for me? What if I get burnt again? Can I afford to lose this money? So they're making an important financial commitment to someone that they barely know. And in a trust recession, that's too much of a risk to take. So here's what advanced digital product sellers understand that most people completely miss. We're not actually selling products, we're selling trust. So listen to that again, because it's critical. We are selling trust. So that $27 product I'm selling, that's not revenue to me. Well, it's revenue on paper, but that's not how I think about it, right? To me, that's an investment. Packing a ton of value into a $27 product so you get real results, right? And once you do, it's easier for you to trust me to be the one who takes you all the way to your goals. Because once you've experienced what I deliver, once you've gone through my content and actually gotten results, once you trust me and believe that I'm the real deal, then you're ready for the real offer. So my customers are ready for a bigger and faster transformation. They're ready for the mid-ticket and high-ticket solutions. And at that point, the sales just becomes easy because I'm not trying to convince a stranger to trust me anymore. I'm selling to someone who already knows I deliver. And that's the entire game that everyone's missing right now. Now, you might be wondering, okay, so this makes sense, but how do I actually get people to buy my $27 product in the first place? Well, here's what most people get wrong. They think they need to build a massive Instagram following first, and they think that they need to dance on TikTok, right? They think that they need to become an influencer, but I've cracked a completely different method. I call it the anti-influencer method, and it works on a platform most people are ignoring, Threads. So I recently used this exact strategy with a brand new account with no followers, no credibility, nothing really, and made 1,700 in just 24 hours. And the best part, no dancing, no reels, no complicated content, just simple AI text posts that actually convert. So if you want to learn the exact step-by-step system that I use to get sales on Threads without building a massive audience first, so I've created a complete mini course breaking down the entire anti-influencer method. It's called the Sales Boosting Formula, and the link is in the description below. So grab it if you want to start drastically increasing your sales ASAP, not 6 months from now, while you're building your followers, right? All right, so let's keep going now. All right, so let me explain this with a metaphor that's going to make everything click for you. So imagine you're checking into a 5-star hotel for the first time. You've never stayed there before. You don't know if it's actually worth the money or just overhyped. You walk into the lobby, and what happens? Do they immediately try to upsell you the $500 per night presidential suite? Or do they start pushing the $300 spa package before you even gone into your room? No, they don't do any of that. Instead, a staff member approaches you with a smile and hands you a welcome drink. Something cool and refreshing, something that makes you think, okay, this is nice. They actually care about the experience here. And once you've tasted that drink, once you've experienced that level of service and attention to detail, right? Once you see that they actually deliver on the 5-star promise, then they casually mention the spa. They mention the upgraded room options. They mention the exclusive dining experience. And suddenly you're interested, right? You're actually considering it. Why? Because they've already proven they deliver quality. They earned your trust with that small gesture first, right? So that's exactly how my trust bridge system works. And I'm going to break down both sides of the strategy for you right now. So part A, the low ticket offer. This is your welcome drink. Here's the psychology behind it. So anything that is between $7 to $27 sits in a very specific sweet spot. It's just below what I call the pain threshold, right? So for most people, what that means is that it's low enough that it doesn't require serious consideration or deliberation, right? It's an impulse buy. Someone sees it, they're like, oh, wow, this is great. And then they buy it. They don't need to have like a budget meeting with their spouse. They don't need to sleep on it for like 3 days. They don't need to check their bank account balance. It's just like, oh yeah, sure, that makes sense. And if your price is at $97, people start to hesitate. They start thinking, is this really worth it? Let me think about it. Let me compare this to other options. So you need to find your sweet spot, right? But it should be high enough to be taken seriously, but low enough that the decision is easy. And this is gonna vary from niche to niche, right? So find your sweet spot that fits your product niche. But here's what most people get completely wrong about low ticket products. They think that low ticket products is about making money. They think, okay, I'm gonna sell 1,000 of these $27 products and that's gonna make me $27,000. Great. No. That's not what this is about. The real purpose of your low ticket product is actually twofold, and both purposes are way more valuable than the immediate revenue. Purpose number one is to validate an idea, right? Demand validation. When somebody buys your $27 product, they're essentially raising their hand and saying, okay, I have this problem and I'm willing to invest money to solve it. That's incredibly valuable information. You know now that this is a real problem people will pay for. You know there's demand. You're not guessing anymore. Purpose number two is trust building. When they go for your $27 product and they actually get results from it, maybe they implemented your strategy and it works. Maybe they use your template and save 3 hours of work. Maybe they follow your framework and have like this aha moment. That's trust. They're thinking, wow, this person actually knows what they're talking about. This is actually helping me? And if this is what I get for $27, well, what could I get for more? And that's when the magic happens. And by the way, if you're selling your low ticket products on platforms like Threads, you get lots of sales because people scrolling through Threads are perfect buyers because they're not just there for entertainment like Instagram or TikTok. So a $27 solution is an instant yes for them. All right, so now let me show you how the ladder actually works in practice. So this is where the real money comes in. So step one, they buy the $27 product, let's say, right? So this low ticket product solves one specific problem for them, not everything, just one focused thing. It gives them what I call a quick win, something they can implement and see results from faster, right? So for example, let's say that you teach people how to get their first 100 sales on Etsy. Your low ticket product might be the 7-day sales formula, how to get your first viral listing this week. It's very specific, it's focused, it promises one outcome, and someone can go through it and implement it in just a few days. Step two, so inside that product, you introduce the next level. But here's the key, you don't do this aggressively. You don't do this in a pushy, salesy way. You do it naturally. You collect their email once, they buy your mini product, then you hit them with an email campaign. You talk about other problems they could be facing, and then you mention your product that can solve those other problems. That's it. That's your mid-ticket offer introduction. No pressure, no hard selling, just natural step. Then your mid-ticket offer is usually sits between $100 to, let's say, even $500. So this is not just one quick win anymore. This is the complete system. This is the full implementation guide. This is everything they need to go from beginner to actually capable of getting consistent results. And here's what absolutely wild, like about 10 to 15% of people who buy your low ticket will upgrade to mid ticket. That's not a guess, right? That's based on actual data from my business and from the businesses of advanced sellers that I know. So why do they upgrade? Not because you convince them with some fancy sales tactic. They upgrade because they've already experienced your delivery. They got results with your $27 product. Now they trust you and they simply want more. Then we get to step three, your high ticket offer. Your high ticket offer is for people who've gone through the low ticket product. They maybe even gone through the mid ticket, and now they're thinking, okay, I get the system, I understand the strategy, but I want this done faster. I want personalized access to expert. I want the VIP experience, right? I want someone to hold my hand through this. And this is your coaching, your consulting, your done for you service, your high touch program. This is usually priced anywhere between $1,000 to $5,000 or even more depending on your niche. And here's the beautiful part. About 2 to 5% of your original low ticket customers will eventually become high ticket clients. Again, this is real data. 5% might not sound like a lot, but watch what happens when we do some math. So let's say you sell 1,000 units of your $27 product. So that's already $27,000 in revenue from the low ticket sales alone. Okay, not bad. But then let's say 10% of those 1,000 people upgrade to your $297 mid ticket. That's 100 people. So multiply that by 297, we're looking at $29,700 in additional revenue. Then 2% of your original 1,000 customer upgrade to, let's say, your $2,000 offer. So that's 20 times 1,997, that's 39,994, right? So $39,000 in additional revenue. So now let's add it all up. 27K plus 29K plus 39K, you're looking at 96K. So you just made 96K. Now, okay, hold on. Like, I'm obviously simplifying this, right? And obviously you need to have a funnel in place and have low ticket offers that work with your customer. But it all started with a low ticket product that brought people through the door. So that's the power of the trust bridge system. And let me be clear about something, right? These aren't cold sales. So by the time someone reaches your high ticket offer, they're not a stranger anymore, right? There's someone who's already bought from you twice, they've gone result twice, they trust you completely. So these are the easiest sales you will ever make in your life. And that's exactly how I was able to make 65K in 30 days, right? The $27 product brought people and build trust. And so hold on, one thing worth mentioning before we continue is that while yes, absolutely, I was able to make 65K in 30 days, right? I also have a lot of data. I have data as to like what is actually working. So you have to make sure that you also understand what your customers are looking for, what kind of solutions they're looking for, and how you can help them. So most of this happened organically because I cracked the platform strategy. So 50% of my traffic, by the way, came from Threads alone, 10% came from IG, and then 40% came from YouTube. So while everyone's grinding on Instagram trying to get followers, I'm over here on Threads, like making actual sales from accounts with barely any following. So with my anti-influencer method, you don't need to be famous and you don't need thousands of followers. You just need to show up in the right place with the right message. So again, something worth noting is that yes, it took me several years to establish this method, and I also have data and understand what people are actually looking for, what kind of problems I can solve for them. And as a result, I've been able to build this funnel, which is a natural progression. So first, you have to help them with one very specific problem. It's a small problem that you can help them fix within 24 hours to even a week. Once you're able to fix that problem with them, they will ascend to the mid-ticket and then high ticket. Now, while I understand that some of the numbers that I shared seem unrealistic, it is totally within reach if you have the right system in place. Now, I'm not saying this is like overnight success. It does take time, but if you follow this new strategy of starting with a lower ticket product, something that is anywhere between $7 to $27 to start generating trust, to start building your email list, and then transition those customers into people who trust you, who are willing to pay more for a solution, so you're a mid-ticket solution, then slowly you can start having them be part of your high-ticket offer and coaching programs. So yes, it does take time to put together this ascension funnel together, but if you follow this strategy, you'll be way more successful than doing it the old way. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next video.